was The Real People and a song called Feeling Lonely. That is an exclusive on the show. And I am currently in a studio with Chris and Tony Griffiths of The Real People. And we are going to be talking about what they've been up to over the last few months and their latest musical project. And also about a gig that they will be doing at Hangar 34 in November. So, hello, Chris and Tony.
Hello, Chris.
All right, Kitty.
You all right?
I am, thank you. Right, so, obviously, we've had an 18-month period where you haven't been able to get out and gig, in the same way I haven't been able to do my job as a working DJ. It's been a bit of a nightmare.
Been a bit strange, though, with The Real People. We the only gigs that we done the Angus Bar for John Johnson. We've done 3 nights sold out there as a stripped down acoustic with me, Tony and James, the piano player, which was really nice. I think people really enjoyed that. But we've done another show in London as the same sort of format. And that's all we've done for a good while through the lockdown. And then last month we played the 100 Club in London as the full band, which was really, really good.
Well, it's great to see that gigs are coming back online. Now, we started with a song called Feeling Lonely. Now, that is, to all of our listeners, a new song, but it isn't actually a new song, is it?
No, that song would be about 25, 30 years old.
Well, it's basically from what we're doing at the moment is we're collating all these unreleased tracks that have been, on the shelf for quite a while. There's a couple of albums worth of material now that we've had a good listen to, and you know what? Surprisingly, they sound a lot better than we ever remembered. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to remaster them, and hopefully they're all going to get released in over the next few months.
Some of them might get re-recorded. It's not about the actual recordings of the songs; it's about the unreleased song. So some of them might be re-recorded. Some of them are definitely the original bedroom demos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You can even hear me ma bringing me tea in while we're recording vocals and stuff. So yeah, it should be interesting, very interesting.
And how long do you think this project is going to take to come to fruition, and how are you going to get it out to the public?
Yeah, it was all more or less finished. We've titled it like Unreleased, Real People Unreleased for now. We were at the end of more or less sending Unreleased 1 away, which these tracks are off. And me and Tony had a bit of a disagreement regarding what song should be on and what song shouldn't be on. And we ended up just shelving it for like at least 12 months, probably a good few years. We've gone back to it now and we've started listening again. So in the next few months, it should be ready.
All depending on the next argument that we have.
Yeah.
Well, that's the trouble about being brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
But at least I'm sure you can kiss and make up in double quick time.
Do you know what? It's so strange. But some people who were in our company sometimes, you can see the faces going, oh, it's kicking off here. And then 2 minutes later, me and him, as you say, we're fine. Everyone else is just left shell-shocked.
Right, so there is the possibility then of more than a couple of albums of unreleased material then?
Yes, the plan is to do just on downloads only, probably like 4 unreleased sessions, like albums sort of thing, and then after that's been released, we want to try and release something with like hard disc copies that you can actually buy, like a physical copy of the box set of the 4 of them.
Well, that's certainly something to look forward to, and you've played some of the songs to me, and I have to say, I am quite excited about the prospect of hearing more from that project. Now, the other thing that you have got lined up is a gig in Liverpool at Hangar 34. That's happening on Friday the 19th of November, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been a bit of a strange one. We played Jimmy's, but that was sold out because it was it'd been a rearranged gig, like on different lockdowns and stuff like that. So started off as an actual acoustic gig, and then with the lockdown getting lifted, we done it as an electric gig.
Yeah, well, because it had been moved and moved. It was originally like supposed to be just like a stripped down acoustic thing, and then it was put to the full band. It was completely sold out, and if it was at a bigger venue, then we could have probably sold it out again. So on the premises of that, that's why we've decided to do another gig so soon after the last one, because
and a bigger venue.
And a bigger venue, yeah.
Because we've got some real good surprises for like the visuals and stuff like that on this gig. Plus the people who are going to be having playing with us. Hopefully we should have some strings and stuff like that, as we've done last time when we done the big gig there, and a few different songs that you haven't heard before.
Well, Hangar 34 is certainly a great venue, and I don't feel that it's used as much as it should. for live music in that sort of form, and certainly local bands as well.
It's used a lot more for raves and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
All the DJ
I think it's used a lot more for that sort of DJ things and stuff like that, like dance sort of stuff. But we know the guys who own it, so they've sorted us out on a nice little deal, so that should be all right.
Well, it's certainly going to be a great night, because not only is it the Real People with all your special surprises, but you've also got Candy Opera in support.
Yeah, which are a band that have been going nearly as long as us, I think, you know what I mean? So it's a good little bit of Liverpool history on the night.
It certainly will be. And tickets for that are still available, are they?
Yeah, they're all still available, yeah. It's going to be a good night.
It certainly will be. So
selling well, though.
I will put a link for the tickets on my Facebook page.
Fantastic.
And people can check that out. And hopefully it's going to be a massive sellout on the night.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right, let's get back to the Real People and your music. I mean, we can't mention the Real People without talking about the Oasis tapes.
Yeah, not a problem.
Again, you did all of those demo tapes with Oasis.
Yeah.
And there's a great little video up on YouTube now where you're interviewed about it and tell the story.
The reason why I put this video out that I was in our studio talking about the equipment and stuff like that, someone's released a YouTube thing, and it's by an Oasis blogger or whatever it is, podcaster. It's called The Dark Side of Noel Gallagher, and within a month it's got over 60,000 views. And it is him telling our story. But he's actually a massive Oasis fan. He runs the Oasis podcast.
The weird thing is, because we didn't know nothing about this at all, I was watching it myself because I was just checking my emails and stuff like that, and I went, what's this? And I sat there and was watching it. And it was like it scripted it.
It's one of the most truthful interviews. Oh, no, it's not even an interview. It's one of the most truthful things I've seen on YouTube or anything about the Real People and Oasis story. There's a few little things that he hasn't got right, but most of it's really good. So that's why we thought we'd do a little documentary ourselves about the equipment we recorded it on. And
we basically made that little video for the guy that we sold all the equipment to, because we had all the original equipment that we recorded the demos on, because obviously it was just like an 8-track that we were recording on at the time in our rehearsal room. We've upgraded a fair bit now, so all of that equipment that we'd done the original Oasis demos on had been under the bed for about 20 years or something, you know what I mean? So it was just gathering dust, and this guy was it was a massive collector of everything Oasis. Got in touch with us and asked us if we want to sell it. So we kind of managed to get it all working and done a little demo for him of...
It was actually the reel-to-reel of Rock and Roll Star and Columbia, with me singing on Columbia. But the guy didn't want to play the tapes that many times, so what I've done, I got it all working on the reel-to-reel there. And done a little George Martin thing. Well, there's the 2 tracks with the drums on, there's the guitar, and there's this, that and the other. Because he didn't want us to play it again, because I'd sold him the actual tape, do you know what I mean? That was just proof that it was there and it was all working, and I wasn't just giving them a tape of nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the problem, though, because tapes are quite fragile and do not store particularly well. So
especially reel-to-reels, yeah. I've got loads there and they've got mould on and stuff, so I'm thinking what I can do with them.
Well, yeah, again, there are specialist companies that can deal with all of that stuff, but I mean, I'm sure it's not cheap. Right, let's have a little break and have another song, and this again is another exclusive, and it's a song called I'm Not the Kid. Is there anything you want to tell me about it before we play it?
Yeah, I recorded this in my bedroom. I used to live in a place called Kitchener Drive in Orrell Park. I recorded this in the bedroom, and I actually brought the reel-to-reel in from the original recording, put it down into our new studio, and just added a few little bits and bobs to it. And there's just something about this song that we all really like. It's quite cool.
Okay, well, here it is. It's I'm Not the Kid.
Who am I to think that I'm so cool? But I've bought and sold you all, broke all your rules, and I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not ashamed anymore. But I'm not the kid that I used to be. I think everybody's laughing at me, so I hide away my smile behind my eyes. Has it taken all your time to realize that if I find a way through the dark, I'm not telling you anymore? not the kid that I used to be. I think everybody's laughing at me. He's not the kid that he used to be. Is he the kid that he used to be? Am I the boy that I used to be? Has everyone been laughing at me? Yes, yes.
You are listening to Chris Currie Presents on Mersey Radio, and I'm in a studio with Chris and Tony Griffiths of The Real People, and we're talking about their new musical project and also a gig that they are doing at Hangar 34 on Friday the 19th of November. So let's continue on with some more questions if you're ready. Did any one musician inspire you to take up music?
So I've just always been a major fan of John Lennon. So
Born and bred Beatles, but mainly obviously our dads, because our dads been in bands, since the 60s and that, and so we kind of grown up. I remember coming downstairs when I was about 4, and it was like a full band rehearsing in the living room. About 4, and then I'd do like mid-song. He didn't stop playing. My dad was kind of gesturing for me to just go back to bed, and I just sat in the corner with my fingers in my ears like that, going,
this is boss.
And I thought my dad was in the Beatles until I was about 7.
And why not? Indeed. Again, it's one of those. I love music because my dad gave me a record player when I was about 4 years old, and it's just stayed with me. And I feel privileged, and I'm sure you do as well, to be able to make a living out of playing music.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
Yeah.
So what are your other musical influences?
I love every type of music except death metal and really rubbish rap. But my spectrum is broad. So I'll listen to anything, and if it's good, I like it. But when we were growing up, we were same as everyone in our sort of age group. We were into like the Kings, the Stones, the Who, that sort of vibe. And when we started touring a bit, we toured with a band called the Pixies, who really influenced us a bit.
Yeah.
Even when Nirvana come out, Nirvana influenced us. But we used to listen to like King Crimson and stuff like that, didn't we? That a lot of people didn't used to listen to, the Blue album with Adrian Blue on guitar.
Yeah, obviously David Bowie, because we were quite lucky to meet him, and we done a gig with him in Denmark, and we played with him in
Manchester.
In Manchester, in Old Trafford as well. But we're heavily influenced by early Bowie. But it's just like everything, because in the 80s, all the haircuts change and all the style changes, and your taste in music kind of changes, and then it gets to the 90s and you look back and you think, oh God,
it does. It goes through generations. So in the 80s, we were probably listening to was Talk going in the 80s. Just certain bands. So it was just whatever was hip at the time, really.
Yeah.
But our heart lies in the 60s, really, with all his Stones and the Who, that sort of vibe.
I always say there are only 2 genres in music, and that is music that moves you and music that doesn't.
Yeah.
How do you go about your songwriting? I mean, obviously, you write songs together, but you write songs apart as well.
Yeah. What we do, we finish off each other's ideas. That's the great thing about having a brother.
And we finish off each other's sentences as well.
Yeah, we always do that. So we can sit round and we can just write a song from scratch, or as I've got this and I'm stuck on this bit, we'll pass it over here, and I've got this and I'm stuck on this bit.
A lot of the time, Marcus will play me a song and I'll say I don't like it, and then he'll get a cob on and then come back about a week later and play me a song and I go, that's actually great.
And it'll be the same song.
It'll be the same song. It all depends what mood I'm in.
That's exactly it.
I can understand that. So is it lyrics or music that comes first, or is it a combination of the two?
Music and melody.
Yeah, it's just the music, the melody, the shape. We don't sit there and write words and then try and put a melody or any music to it, because what we do is we get the melody and then, the shape of it, and then fit the words to the shape.
It's a bit funny. If we played you some of like songs that you might know and played you like the original birth of them, do you know what I mean? We actually write like we're deaf sometimes. We were like, I'm your name, and you just get the actual shape.
I hope there's no deaf listeners listening to this, by the way.
No, I know. I mean, it is one of those things that a lot of songwriters do, that scat thing, you know, where they kind of just mumble a basic
more like
melody
it, yeah.
line.
And then sometimes you listen back to it and words will stick out that you don't even know you've said. And that's how you sometimes start the story off or whatever.
Okay. Is there a song that you wished you'd written? Now, you can answer that individually, obviously.
I wish it was I'm the Walrus.
Blackberry Way.
Blackberry Way, we went to the Move as well.
Yeah.
What advice can you offer to local aspiring musicians?
Give up.
It's over to me. Do you know what? If it goes well, it's a great life. You get paid for doing what you love to do, and there's no better job than doing that.
It's just a shame.
And getting people to buzz off your music is something unreal. It's like the biggest drug on earth. When you can play something to someone, you can see the smile come on their face, or you can do a gig and people are cheering and chanting.
But the main thing is, you know what I mean, for aspiring musicians and stuff like that, because there's hardly any money left in the music.
Money in it.
You know what I mean? If you're going to do it, you're mainly doing it for the love of doing it. And, you know, if you don't like what you're doing, then it's not worth doing it. But, you know, it's not like it's a career choice where you're going to make millions of pounds, you know what I mean? It's doing it for the love of doing it.
Them days have gone, I think, sadly.
Right. Where can people go to find out more about The Real People? Have you got your own dedicated website?
The official Real People site. All of our music, everything that we've released is now on Townsend Music, I think it's called.
Yeah, but we can get mail orders or from downloads. They're a really, really good company. I think, you know, the likes of Probe and stuff like that, you know, if you want to go and buy any of our CDs,
the only place that stocks in Liverpool will be Probe.
Yeah.
Right, so let's have a little recap before we have the final song. You are playing at Hangar 34 on Friday the 19th of November. That's with support from Candy Opera.
Yeah.
And there will be some surprises on the night.
Yeah, hopefully.
And tickets for that are available at the moment, but they are selling quickly.
Yeah.
I will put a link up for the tickets on my Facebook page.
Brilliant.
You're also working on a series of albums of unreleased songs, which in the end will be released through the internet as downloads. And will they be available from Townsend?
Yeah, all on Townsend, and the box set will be afterwards.
That's absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Chris.
Cheers, Chris. Nice one, mate.
We're going to finish with a song called Lonely Street. And once again, is there anything you want to tell me about this song?
This is a song that we'd forgot about, really, until a friend of ours, Brian Nash from Frank Goes to Hollywood, come up to us and was like, whatever happens to that song? He was good friends with a guy who was writing with, or was producing, Robbie Williams at the time. And he said, can I pitch the song to Robbie Williams? And we went, yeah, I can hear him doing that. So we found the original recording. This is it. It's a really great song.
Right. Well, thank you very much for joining me. And this is The Real People and Lonely Street.
Let it all begin. Let it all just fade away into the page. I don't know which way I can go, which way I can turn, which way I can hide. You know I'm trying, and if there's a reason things might change, there'll be a feeling that'll still remain. And all I know is all I know. 'Cause I'm tired of living on lonely street. So tired of living on lonely street. And I'm trying to leave, but I just can't leave. So tired of living on lonely street. Let it all begin. Saved it all since yesterday. 'Cause anyway, I don't know which way I can go, which way I can turn.